Well, let's get more on this. We can speak to defence and security analyst Yusuf Alabarda, who's live for us in Istanbul. Yusuf, good to have you with us. So these are very interesting pictures. What do you make of this? Why is the YPG preventing civilians from leaving Afrin?
The civilian evacuation of the Afrin area, which is being prevented by the YPG forces, has been also reported by the United Nations last week. And according to the United Nations official reports, it was clearly reported that YPG forces are deliberately trying to use the civilians as a shield, and moreover to that, deliberately targeting them, not to allow them to evacuate the Afrin area. If you remember the United Nations Security Council's resolution for a ceasefire 10 days ago, it has 3 pillars. One of them is the medical aid to civilians, humanitarian aid to civilians, and the civilian evacuation. Now we know that the Turkish Red Crescent has also already operating field hospitals in the area and operating the tent cities for the civilians which is being affected YPG's terrorist activities. Now we can see clearly from the unmanned aerial vehicle videos on the internet that the YPG forces are trying to prevent people to not to allow outside of the Afrin area and deliberately targeting them in a terrorist and hostile manner, which is the same when you take into consideration the Sarajevo siege and Radovan Karadzic. The same situation happens in Afrin, and the YPG terrorist activities does not allow the civilians, which is a war crime from the perspective of the United Nations Security Council resolution.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because clearly using civilians as human shields is, as you have said, a violation of international law. So how should the international community respond?
International community should respond immediately by taking all kinds of actions in the Afrin area, because according to the United Nations report last week, nothing has happened, just a report. And we can say that the Turkish Olive Branch operation is directly in line with the United Nations Security Council resolution, because trying to evacuate the innocent civilians inside the city. And as we can see from the videos which has been leaked to the internet today, the YPG forces is deliberately trying not to let them to go outside of the Afrin and use them as a shield in the area.
Yusuf, thank you very much indeed for that. Yusuf Alabarda there speaking to us live from Istanbul.